Welcome to Just Listen and a new album by Iverson called Every Note is True. This is one of the best albums I have heard so far in 2022. Iverson's debut recording for Blue Note label sets him in a trio with bassist Larry Grenadier and drummer Jack DeJohnette. Iverson's piano skills were forged in the Bad Plus, an inventive trio Iverson started in 2000 with bassist Reid Anderson and drummer David King. But as a composer, Iverson progressed immensely. 9 out of 10 compositions on Every Note is True are from his pen. Strongest recommendation for the album comes from memorable tunes that are obviously laid out in basic sketches, but brought to musical mastery by all 3 of the band members. As Iverson said himself, it's great to hear Larry and Jack swinging out. With the 2 of them, you don't need a lot of material. If you bring in something really simple, no more than the basic sketches, they'll take it over and make it sound great. That's very much in the tradition of those great Blue Note records from the 50s and 60s, where the tunes are memorable, but there aren't too many notes on the page.
Suddenly, for the first time, Don, I started to sing my own tunes, walking around Brooklyn or wherever, and I guess I feel like that's a little bit my arrival as a composer, is that I'm actually writing melodies that I myself find catchy. So when the opportunity came up to play with Jack DeJohnette and Larry, I thought, well, let me just pick the best tunes I've been coming up with. And the press release of this album, sort of leans into the fact that it's a return to something of the Bad Plus style. I would say there's no Bad Plus without Reid and Dave, but what is true is that there's a simplicity of harmony. I've always really liked clear harmony. I've liked clear harmony since I was a teenager. And jazz harmony, it tends to be quite thick, and that's beautiful too, but I've always wanted to make a little bit of room for some triadic harmony, for some simple harmony, and that, I think, ties into the title of the record, Every Note is True. There's a clarity to the harmonic language that I believe in, that I've always believed in. It was really in the forefront of the Bad Plus, and now it's back with this trio project.
The Eternal Verities, a tune inspired by Iverson's mother-in-law contemplating eternal verities while sitting on the back porch, is a great introduction to this playful album. The melody starts simple and somewhat slower than expected, but after Iverson takes several unexpected turns, backed marvelously by Grenadier and DeJohnette, it lifts the composition to higher ground. It reminds me of a butterfly flying beautiful colors and not in a straight line. The simplicity of melody and beauty of variation it leads to continues in the next track, She Won't Forget Me. Again, just a bit of angular chords at the beginning gives Iverson space to develop improvisation into light, unburdened feeling. Always busy Grenadier-DeJohnette duo paves the road in front of him on telepathic level. Incredible collaboration of all 3, and the result is a marvelous composition that gives a nod to Iverson's Bad Plus tenure. Great tunes continue, one after another. I told you it's one of the best albums I heard this year. So next track, a gentle waltz for Alan Ruskin. Like in all other compositions on the album, Iverson's playing is wide and flamboyant. He paints soundscape with bright colors using higher registers of the piano mostly. This music brings joy and hope. Things get more serious with Blue, 5th track on the album. Darker feelings, but even in this portrayal of sadness, the trio doesn't succumb to hopelessness. But mainly by Iverson's airy and inventive playing stays afloat in this DeJohnette written composition from the early 1970s. All the way to the album's end, the trio continuously plays on the highest level. There is not a single track that we could skip as not on par with the rest. After a solo piece for piano called Had I But Known, we dive into a more traditional sounding bop trio setting with a tune called Merely Improbable. DeJohnette and Grenadier are restrained to classic rhythm section supporting roles, leaving more creative freedom for Iverson, which he uses but doesn't wander too far from the main melody. Second to last track has a fabulous piano line at the beginning. So simple that could easily become shallow, but as always, Iverson takes several twists and turns to engage us onto a journey through his improvisations that are not too ambitious and are always so inviting and uplifting. The music has that feeling throughout this album, the one of new hope, fresh ideas, bright future. You just feel more positive after hearing these three artists play through. This track is called Praise Will Travel. Simple and clear harmonies dominate Iverson's compositions. Iverson emphasizes clarity of harmonic language over display of virtuosity, and his easiness of sound flow give this album artistic value. Well, at least that is my opinion, though time will tell. A link to Songwhip will take you directly to this album on major streaming platforms. Thank you for watching.